talk about a lot of the times. But before we get started, we go ahead and tell you who I am. I'm Teresa T. L. Matthew. I am the founder of, I'm a nutritional therapist and the founder of SAIR Nutritional Therapy. That is SAIR Nutritional Therapy. The website is SAIRNT.com. And if you want to get a free nutritional assessment or a fat loss assessment, you can go over to that site and click on About and scroll down, and you will be able to um, see the um, assessments there. And I'm pausing because I've already gone live, and I forgot to do something, and it's like, oh no. So I forgot to do something there, um, but that's quite all right. So basically, I am. Um, I think I might be able to kind of get by with it a little bit. I'm just learning how to use this new app, so it is something that's very new for me. So if you bear with me, again, like I said, I'm doing this because I'm going live, and one of the things about going live is that I wanted to be able to share things, and not have to worry about doing the video editing, which is something that I don't want to do, because it's just like I tend to be more of like a perfectionist kind of person, and what that just simply means is that I would just be constantly going over the video, trying to make it right before I would put it out. And so I'm trying, and so all of this is an effort for me to try and get past that perfectionism thing. And so if you just bear with me, you'll see that this isn't going to be perfect by far. It's not going to be perfect. Sometimes I stutter. Sometimes I repeat thoughts. And I've said that before. You'll hear some repeated thoughts and things like that. But the information is still there, and it's good. And I'm trying to keep the commitment to myself to go live every day so that I can get used to these kind of things. Because I've been told constantly that I have to be the face of my brand, and I think there are other faces that could probably do well at being the face of my brand. I like to be behind the scenes, but this is my effort to be out front, and I like to help people and to teach and all of that. And so um, this is my effort to kind of do that. And so just bear with me. If you're new here, welcome. If you're watching this on a rebroadcast or an older video at a later time, just want to say welcome and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. So, okay. So without further ado, what I wanted to do today was I saw a couple of videos out there, and I will probably I will share them with you as I come across them. And this happened to be one about how to break sugar addiction. And so I haven't watched the video. I'm going to watch it with you guys live, and we're going to discuss the video, and we're going to, you're going to get my reaction to the video and my commentary on the video. So without further ado, this video is, it is how to break sugar addiction, 15 tips, 2021. And this is Dr. I believe it's Dr. Barry. And so he's going to be telling us how to break that sugar addiction. And let's see what he has to say. What did I do here? Did I lose the video? Oh, I think I lost the video. Let's try again.
Do you have a problem with sugar with ourselves here? Do you?
Let's make it bigger.
Is it hard to say no? Do you have multiple signs that you might be addicted to sugar? I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience, and in this video, I'm going to give you some thoughts about sugar cravings, sugar addiction, and some tips that can help you break this craving or addiction and help you live a sugar-free life.
Let me try and get the video
The
for you
first
guys
thing you
here.
need to know about this is that it may not actually be a sugar craving.
Let me try again to get this back sharing again. Well, this is new, so this is to be expected. I know you could. I think you could hear it better than you could see it. And I mean, I went through all the trouble of getting everything set up, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get the video back here in just a moment. There we go. There we go.
Signs the addicted to sugar. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience, and in this video, I'm going to give you some thoughts about sugar cravings, sugar addiction, and some tips that can help you break this craving or addiction and help you live a sugar-free life. The first thing you need to know about this is that it may not actually be a sugar craving. It may be a sweet taste craving. Much of the research done in this area of science is done with rodents, and they have been able to elicit the same addictive behavior with sugar-free sweeteners like saccharin and other non-nutritive sweeteners, as well as with sugar. So keep that in mind. This may not be you addicted to literal sugar, but to the sweet taste of sugar or indeed any other sweetener. It absolutely mimics a true addiction. There are healthcare providers out there who will say there's no such thing as for sweet addiction. There are others who will say there absolutely is a thing. Only you know how you are affected by sweet tasting food or affected.
So I want to say that, yeah, only you know how you're affected by sweet tasting foods. But one of the things that I say that sugar addiction, because I have been affected by it. I have a deep. I would eat it all the time, and if I wasn't eating sugar, I wasn't eating anything. And so for me, it wasn't just a sweet taste. It had to be sugar because artificial sweeteners didn't do it. It had to be sugar. It had to. Um, it had to. It couldn't just be any sweet taste. It had to be a sweet taste that tastes like sugar, and that's why some sweet was very effective because it actually gave the palate pleasure of sugar, so that it went hand in hand. Splenda didn't do it. I mean, because it didn't taste like sugar. Sucralose didn't taste like sugar, or any other sweetener that didn't taste like sugar. So it actually had to make the food taste no different than what a sugar sweetened food would do. That's what I had to have. But let's listen on.
Based on your desire to eat them. Now, the first thing I want you to understand is it's hard to fight a craving. It's hard to fight an addiction. But what you definitely are gonna fail at every time is if you try to fight hunger and a craving, or hunger and the sugar addiction at the same time. So I'm going to give you tips in a few minutes about how to separate these. Okay, but you will fail every time if you are hungry and also craving the sweet taste as well. Now, another thing you have to add is that natural sugars are not going to help you. There are many articles out there that say, oh, satisfy your sweet tooth by eating berries and melons and honey and agave, but you can't satisfy an addiction. You're still addicted, right? And this would be a lot like telling the alcoholic, oh, if you're craving whiskey, just drink a beer. It's bad advice, and that's not going to work for people who are sugar addicted either. Keep this in mind. Some people are much more affected by this than other people are, right? And we see this in cigarette addiction, in alcohol addiction. Some people can smoke a few and walk away and never touch them again. Others can drink some alcoholic drinks and never be tempted by them in the future. Others of us, even just a few drinks or a few smokes, and we are addicted, and it's a very hard addiction to quit. So you have to be honest with yourself. Which one of these people are you? So let me give you some tips. And some of these are going to sound woo-woo. Some of them are going to be like, yeah, easier said than done. But any addiction that you're quitting, whether it's nicotine, alcohol, illicit drugs, there's going to be some recommendations that you're like, okay, but it's still truth here. It's going to be hard, okay? If you're one of the people who are truly addicted to sugar and sweet taste, this is going to be hard. But I promise you, I wouldn't be making this video if I.
It is very hard. If you're living in a sugar addicted body, it is very hard to quit sugar. And so we're going to listen to some of the tips that he has and see how effective they are. When I was sugar addicted, I tried to use chromium picolinate, which is chromium, which is a mineral, to try and help. It does help to stop sugar cravings, but however, I was able to cut back with the sugar, but the carb craving kicked up really high with that. So as long as I was taking the chromium, I could bring it down, but I was never really able to kick the habit and get rid of sugar completely. Only now, in these last 2 years, have I been without sugar, and I don't have a craving for sugar. And in fact, I don't have to have super sweet stuff. I can have just a little, something just be slightly sweet, and that's sweet enough. Before it had to be super sweet, over the top sweet, syrupy sweet, Slurpees, things like that, sweet. And but now, most days I don't even want anything sweet. I don't even want any, like any like bread. I don't even eat bread really. So no, I don't even eat bread. I'm trying to think when was the last time I had bread, and I'm not tempted by it. And that's the big key, is that before I could not pass it up. Now I can pass it up completely. Let's listen on.
Didn't think it was going to be worth it to you, both mentally and physically in the long run. So number one, set a goal. Okay, so 90 days sweet free, and not just sugar free, but any sweet taste whatsoever. Because if this is truly an addiction to the sweet taste, the artificial sweeteners, the keto approved sweeteners, they're not going to help you break addiction by that. So set a goal, whatever your goal is. It may be 2 days without any sweeteners, right? If so, that's great. You achieve that goal. Now you can make a bigger goal.
I will say this, and since I am the manufacturer of some sweet. I will say this, that I set plenty of goals over the last 27 years to quit sugar, and none of them were effective. The goals were not effective at me quitting sugar. The only thing that helped me quit sugar was some sweet. That was the only thing. And part of the reason why is because some sweet also helps to lessen the effects of sugar and the insulin spikes and all of that. And it works effectively in your body to kind of help you kick that sugar craving. It stops the carb cravings as well. So That's the reason why. So it doesn't just satisfy um, the sweet tooth, but it also is working in your body to help with the insulin spikes and all of the different metabolic effects of what sugar causes, and allowing the other hormones in your body to work. Whereas I couldn't cold turkey it, and if you can cold turkey it, that's great. But I needed some assistance.
Number two, call it what it is. If your behavior is altered by your desire to eat sweet things, call yourself an addict. Look in the mirror and say, "Hi, I'm a sugar addict. I'm a sweet addict. I'm a carbaholic." Call it what it is. It actually gives you a little power over it, right? Because how many alcoholics, smokers say, "Well, I need to cut back on the alcohol. I need to cut back on smoking." That's not a goal, and that's not calling it what it is. Only when they admit to themselves and others, "I'm an alcoholic. I'm addicted to nicotine. I'm addicted to sweets." That's when you can actually have some power over this. Next.
That's absolutely true. You have to call it what it is. You have to say that I'm a sugar addict, and that's why I stress that I am a recovering sugar addict. I was addicted to sugar. I know I was addicted to sugar because I ate sugar. That was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would have a Slurpee. I mean, I could go all day without eating. I could fast, or I'm very good at fasting, and I could do that. But at the end of the day, when I sat down to eat, um, it was going to be a meal of sugar.
Tip is to do not set multiple goals. Okay, don't say I'm going to quit sweets and I'm going to quit smoking and I'm going to start exercising. No, that is a recipe for failure. Breaking the sweet is hard. Remember, I said.
Hey, it's Brian from San.
So breaking the sweet addiction is hard, and we know that because we went over that before. Address that it is hard. It's very hard to break that sweet addiction.
Online courses.
I said that this needs to be your one and only goal for the week, the month, the 3 months, the year, whatever your goal is for breaking your sweet addiction. That needs to be your only goal, or your only major goal at that time, or you're going to increase your odds of failing. Eat real, whole, one ingredient meat and veg. Okay? Remember, I said earlier, it's impossible to fight a craving and be hungry at the same time. So when you're hungry, you need to eat with lots of meat and lots of veg that's filled with good healthy fats and good healthy proteins. Some people stick to just meat only, and that helps them break the sweet addiction quicker. Some people can add some veg, and it's not a big deal. I've got a video on this channel about the vegetables with the most sugar in them. Those might be ones you want to avoid on this. Next tip is clean out your kitchen, clean out the fridge, the pantry, your glove box, your drawer at the office, maybe even your bedroom closet. Wherever you have these things, get them out of your environment. If you've got a pack of cigarettes in the drawer and you're trying to quit smoking, that's a recipe for failure. So get it all.
Yeah, absolutely. No sweets in the house at all. You have to get rid of it. Yeah, I quit buying. In my efforts to start to quit, what I would do was, instead of buying like multiple bags of candy with lots of pieces, and where there would be lots, I went to just buying one bar, one bar. And that way I knew that if I just had that one bar, because I went down from like a big bag down to a smaller pack, then down to just one bar, maybe two bars, which if I had them there, I was going to eat them. So, and then just one bar. And then that meant that I would just have one bar a day versus 3 or 4 bars a day. Um, and then I would break that one bar into little pieces and just savor that over a long period of time, to stretch out the time that it took me to eat it. So yeah, but get rid of everything until I got to the point to where there was nothing in the house. Nothing. I have nothing sweet in my house. Um, so that's where I actually got to. Now I do have some canned fruits and some things like that, and fruit and stuff like that, but I got rid of everything that was sweet. No cakes, pies, cookies, nothing, 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 nothing.
Out of your environment. If you're really craving, there's a few tips that help a lot of people. If you'll take a pinch of salt on your tongue, for some reason, this sometimes turns off the sweet craving. A pat of butter that you just eat and let it melt in your mouth a lot of times. That will help. Sometimes a glass of water. Any of these little tricks and tips, some will work for some of you, some won't work. You find the ones that.
That's why I say that's why here at Sarah Nutrition we talk about what works for everybody does not there's no one size fits all nutrition or diet or healthy eating plan. There's no one size fits all because everything that he just said, none of that worked for me. Not one bit of that. Because if I took some salt, I'm looking for some sugar to follow to chase that with. So yeah, none of that worked for me. Not a pat of butter, not a glass of water, not salt. None of that worked for me.
See, to help a little bit, remembering that this is hard, but if it helps make it a little less hard, that's a good thing, right? Next is you can make a drink called Ketorade. I've got a video on this channel about an easy way to make it. Don't put any sweetener at all in your Ketorade, and you can sip on this tangy, bubbly drink over the day. It's going to give you electrolytes, which for some people really help the cravings. And it's also going to give you something to do with your hands and your mouth when you're not eating sweets, right?
I don't know what that
Next is mind your minerals, okay? Keto Chow makes a great product called Daily Minerals, and a lot of people are finding that the cravings that they thought were for sweets are actually a mineral deficiency, and that's how it presents itself. So make sure you're getting lots of your essential minerals either through your diet or by using a product like Daily Minerals, so that you don't have these additional mineral cravings that may come across as a craving for junk food.
And I'm sure that mineral that they're referring to is chromium, because chromium does help to minimize sugar cravings. So I'm pretty sure that whatever it is that they're talking about is going to be filled with chromium.
And again, let me say, avoid all sweeteners, because I think there's more to this than just a sugar addiction. I think it's a sweet taste addiction for at least some of us, for many of us, maybe not all. So when you set your goal with 10 minutes or for 10 years of being free, I would avoid all sweeteners altogether.
So I would say that if you're sugar addicted, it is sugar addiction. It is not sweet taste addiction. It's not sweet taste that, oh, I just got to have a little something sweet. That is a completely different animal than being sugar addicted. Like I said, I ate sugar breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, and if I tried to get rid of sugar, my body was forcing me to eat sugar in different forms. It wanted carbs, and it didn't make any difference what it didn't have to be a sweet taste. It had to be something that my body could turn into sugar. So that is a completely different thing. So than having a sweet taste, because I ate so much sugar. So this is the way it would go for me. I would start out drinking Slurpee, icy, slushies, whatever. It's just all 100% sugar with some water, okay, and some flavor. I would start out drinking that, and then I would have a slice of pound cake, right? So because you could go and like in the convenience stores, you go down that aisle, they'll have those little slices of cake there, and I would have a slice of pound cake. I love the butter pound cake, and I would get a slice of pound cake, and then I would have a Hershey with almonds. Now, once I ate the once I had started drinking the slushy, whatever it was, and then I ate the pound cake on top of it, I would get this sort of bitter taste in my mouth. It was bitter, maybe dull, maybe, just no flavor. It was sweet beyond sweet, because when you stack sugars in after the first hit of sugar, you don't taste anything else. So nothing else has a sweet taste after that. You might taste other things from the flavor profile, but you're gonna get hit with this. I don't know what it is on the palate. It's some sort of effect on the palate, but it is not a sweet taste at that point. It's more of like it's not even a bitter taste. It's because it's not as sharp as bitterness, but it's a taste where there's no taste, so you're no longer tasting the sweet. So that's why I say this addiction, sugar addiction, is different from just you want sweet taste, because sweet taste when you just a little something sweet and then that's satisfied, right? But the addiction is you have to keep eating the sugar to get the same levels of high, and that's more and more and more of the sugar to get the same levels of high that you experienced in the past. So it is true addiction.
Let's talk about snacking. During the first few weeks of this challenge to yourself of being sweet taste free, you might, you got to fight the hunger, right? So you might need to have some pre-cooked bacon, some boiled eggs, something that's full of good fat, good protein. You might need to have that handy in your purse, in the fridge, wherever, so that when you're having some intense craving, you can take that pinch of salt, eat a boiled egg, eat some bacon, whatever you need to do to not satisfy that sweet craving.
And I would say that he's talking like a sweet tooth, being a real sugar addict. Yeah, the things that he's saying are not the things that actually worked for me. And I don't eat bacon either. So,
Still,
and
is something that people trying to break addiction find helps them is anything that increases your dopamine or oxytocin levels. So taking a hot shower, going for a walk, working out, meditating, getting a big hug and giving a big hug, kissing, right? Talking to a good friend, getting out of your environment. All these things can help raise dopamine and oxytocin levels, which make it less hard to persist and not give in to the craving. Now,
again, and I can just speak for me. So you can take these tips and you can try them, because everybody is different. But I would advise that if you are really if you're a sugar addict, you're gonna you're gonna kiss and then you're gonna want something sweet. You're gonna hug somebody and then you're gonna want something sweet. Yeah, because at the point of where you reach, you want to keep getting that same level of high. It's an intense feeling, and you just want to keep getting that same level, because it is a real. I mean, I know they don't want to classify it as an addiction or say like it's an addiction, because it does, but it hits those same pleasure sensors. That's why he's talking about dopamine and oxytocin, because it hits those same pleasure sensors in the brain. That's the happiness area, and the joy and the satisfaction. All of those areas in the brain is working on the same thing, and that sugar, the pleasure sensors, and that so that sugar is working on there. But like the other addictions that are acceptable and that people accept as addictions, like smoking or alcohol, or drug addictions, this it operates in the same way, because it is sugar is as addictive as cocaine or heroin. So just imagine, it's just a different kind of high.
now, next is the hand to mouth component. Some people find that picks help this. Some people will cut drinking straws and use them if they're trying to quit cigarettes, because that mimics that hand to mouth motion. If you were a huge snacker with sweet things before, then you may need to do something to satisfy that hand to mouth component. Sparkling water, sweet coffee, unsweetened tea, boiled eggs, all these tricks, the toothpicks, any of this to satisfy that hand to mouth part of the habit will make it less hard to break the sweet habit.
And if anybody is out there like me, then it wasn't that you were eating all day. No, you weren't doing that. I fasted. So I was a faster. Like I would go, I could go 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 hours without eating. But when I do eat, or when I would eat, it was going to be, I was going to break that fast with sugar. Okay. Nothing else was going to work. Now I could eat whatever else I wanted to eat, but I still came right back around to the sugar. So, and like I said, remember when I said I quit eating sugar, I wasn't eating anything. And I could and even when I tried quitting sugar before, I used to get if you the Dollar Tree used to sell these little boxes of almonds. They, of course, they were $1. Um, they're like the Jordan almonds, but they were chocolate covered almonds, right? So they were that size without the hard candy coating. And I would take like one or two boxes of those, and I would sit and I would eat one. And I'd be working, I would sit and eat one, suck all the chocolate off of it, chew up the almond, and I would eat them really, really slow. But I noticed at that time, and this is like probably 10 years ago or so, 15, no, probably about 15 years ago. I would notice at that time, even longer than that, even longer than 15 years, probably about 16, 17 years ago, 18 years ago. And I would notice that even when I would eat those almonds like that, and I wouldn't eat them very fast, but what I noticed is that I didn't eat anything else. So there was no other food. I had no appetite for any other food. Okay.
Next is, let me talk about pills and sprays you may have seen on the internet that are supposed to turn off your ability to absorb sugar or taste sugar. These are all a uniform waste of money. They're
Yeah.
a gimmick. They're in no way addressing the root cause of your addiction. Don't waste your time and money with these things. Next is, let me tell you some medications that can actually cause sweet cravings, sugar cravings, food cravings. Prednisone or any of the steroids can absolutely make you have sweet cravings.
Mhm.
Many of the SSRIs used for anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders can cause cravings. The tricyclic antidepressants can cause food cravings, and the MAO inhibitors can also cause food cravings. If you're taking one of these medications, don't stop it, but do have a conversation with your healthcare provider about either stopping it or switching you to another medication. The next is, if you keep failing at this over and over and over, you might want to reach out to an addiction specialist or a mental health professional and say, hey, I've got this overarching addiction to sweets, to sugar. I need some professional help with this. Yeah. And then my last tip is to forgive.
Yeah, and I would say that you would need to get help if you have that problem. Like I said, I was able to I found something that would helped me kick my sugar addiction, and that was some sweet, because otherwise I was not going to be able to get rid of sugar. And it did help me. It's sort of like with the heroin addict, they would give them methadone. It's sort of like a methadone type of treatment for, and it's food, right? So we're talking about food, and we're not talking about drugs. So I don't want to get penalized by the FDA and say, oh, you got drugs. No, this is food. So this sugar is a food, and in order to treat that addiction, that sugar addiction, you need another food to treat that addiction. The same way heroin is a drug, and you needed another drug to treat that addiction. So this would give you a food that might help. Now, I can say that it's helped me, and it's helped a lot of other people that I have treated to kick their sugar addictions. That's all I can say about that. Is it helps, because it helps to wean you off of sugar. Other sweeteners don't do that. Okay, they don't do that, but some sweet did that, and it has done that for other people. It did it for me, and it's done it for other people. Let's listen some more. But if that doesn't work, I'm not a doctor like that. Just I'm a nutritional therapist. But you might want to see a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist, and I think we do have we I will be reviewing a video from a psychotherapist. But let's listen more to Dr. Berry.
Give yourself, both for your past transgressions, right? And so when you're looking in the mirror, calling yourself what you are, a sweetaholic, a sugar addict. Also forgive yourself for past transgressions. And then also understand that the average person who is an alcoholic, who's breaking their addiction to alcohol, or who's a smoker and breaking their addiction to nicotine, they're not successful the first time. So if you do fail and flub up, don't completely give up. Look back in that mirror, call yourself what you are, forgive yourself for that temporary transgression, right back on the sugar-free train. And
Absolutely. Forgiving yourself is essential and is key, because I see a lot of people when I'm inside of the different Facebook groups and the keto groups and things like that. And I see them like, oh man, I ate cake this weekend and I just ruined all my hard work. And I mean, people are really beating themselves up for actually going back and eating something sweet and all of that. And I say, no, just forget about it. Forget about it, forgive yourself, move on, pick yourself up and go right back in. You know that's a momentary lapse. Go right back in. Go right back to what you were doing and what you in the routine that you had set for yourself. Don't beat yourself up.
keep on rolling. Hope this video helps you a lot.
All right, so I hope that let's see here if we can get me back onto the full screen here. So but if you again, if you're having oh, I can stop sharing and maybe that'll fix it. So if you're having experiencing these the sugar addictions and you're wanting and you need some help, or you want to get get healthy, you want to take a look at your see how you're doing nutrition wise, you can go over to sairnt.com, click on about, scroll down, and you will be able to get a nutritional assessment or a fat loss assessment. And remember, I stress fat loss here because weight loss encompasses three things: muscle, water, fat. And we don't have a problem with muscle. We have a problem with water if you have some other metabolic issues going on, some blood pressure issues, some lymphatic issues, things like that. You'll be retaining water, and even some metabolic things. But and if you but fat is what we really have a problem with. We want to lose fat. We're not struggling to lose muscle. We're not really struggling to lose water, but we are definitely struggling to lose fat. So we emphasize fat loss and not just weight loss, because you want to know that when the pounds when the scale is going down, or if the scale is increasing, we want to know what's increasing. Is muscle mass increasing? Is water increasing? Or is fat increasing? Or what's decreasing? Are we losing water? Are we losing muscle? Or are we preferably losing fat? All right. So again, if you want to get a nutritional assessment or a fat loss assessment, head on over to sairnt.com, click on about, scroll down, and you'll see the assessments there. If you want to get the sweetener, let's see if I can get this page to share that there. See that there? Oh, let's see if we can make it full screen. See if it works that way. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, now it's looking at me. Okay. Let's make it number one again. But if you want to get the sweetener, those are the sweeteners. There's a purple bag, which is the granular. Some sweet granular is 100% of sweetest sugar. And then there is the blue bag, and the blue bag is the some sweet original. It's 70% of sweetest sugar. And then there's the confectioners. If you're making any type of desserts, frostings, things like that, glazes, for your cakes or pies or whatever. That's what you would want to use confectioner sugar for. And then the brown sugar for any type of cookies or anything that requires brown sugar, any type of other type of cooking that requires brown sugar. So those are the sweeteners. You can go over to sumsweet.com to pick those up. And again, that's SUMSWEET. And you can pick up those sweeteners there. And again, like I said, everything that I'm trying to do here is just to share with you guys, share with everybody about sugar addiction, and about sugar addiction. Sorry, I'm trying to do something and it's like not working here. Oh, I got all kind of oh yeah, okay. We don't need to share this one anymore. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing, but just to, if I could try and delete some stuff out of here, um, and just make that show. But that, yeah, so that's the Some Sweet. That's the 100% of sweetest sugar. That's the one that I use. That's my favorite one, and you can get that at sumsweet.com. And you can get a bag. And remember, again, I am not wearing a jewel colored shirt, so I will go ahead and set the coupon, make it live. The discount code is DIFSHIRT. Whenever I go live and I am not wearing a shirt that is the color of the bag for right now, I will set a coupon code, or a code in there for some type of discount, some special, for you all, and that's DIFSHIRT.com. I'm sorry, DIFSHIRT is the coupon code. You can go over to sumsweet.com and you can pick up a bag of Some Sweet, and you'll be able to use that code to get your special offer. That's what we'll say, your special offer, because I don't know what it will be. Okay. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in, for joining me today. And if if you have any comments, if you like this type of content, I'm trying, but I'm going to do it live. And so, like I said, there's going to be some hiccups and all that. But if you like this type of content, go ahead and, comment below. And, I really appreciate what everybody's doing. I'm sorry I missed your comments over there. I'm trying, but okay, I'm trying. So, but yeah, so just let me know. Keep the comments coming, and I'll get better the more I do this. How about that? And I'll keep trying to come live to you. All right. So thank you very much. I'm going to sign off now, and until next time, you all be blessed.